All right, then. So our business on Traffic Radio is to talk transportation, give you the traffic updates. But as we do that, we also try to see how we can modify behavior of our road users by bringing you latest gist that talk about transportation. So this morning, we're going to be aligning with the global transport policy ideals of sustainable development for Nigeria. And I'm going to be bringing my guests to the microphone. They've been doing this for several years. Barrister that's one of my very, very good friends, really. Barrister Oritsematosan Emore-Edodo is here. She's the chairperson of Zoe Maritime Resources. And her first time of coming live to the studios, even though we've spoken more than 10 times. Madam, nice to have you in the building. Good morning.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
And how are you doing?
I'm doing very well, and I'm really honored to be here.
Right. What do you make of our studios, by the way?
I think your studio is beautiful. I'm amazed at the fact that from here we can see everything that's happening on the roads in Lagos State, as it were.
Right.
That's stunning.
That speaks so much to what now? Technology?
Oh, yes, of course. Okay. It speaks to innovation. It speaks to technology. It speaks to moving forward.
Wonderful. All right. Joining her as well, I have Dr. Olusegun Awe-Obe, who's Director of Human Resources with the Global Transport Policy. Nice to have you in the studios, Dr. Obe. Good morning.
Victor, good morning.
Yeah, you are not new here, right?
That's correct.
Okay. So let's align with the thoughts of the Global Transport Policy Roundtable. What's the whole idea behind it? Let's even start with Dr. Obe.
Well, thank you so very much. This is a private initiative to ensure that our transportation in the country is developed to address the challenges being faced across board and to also catalog discussions, by bringing together experts in the field of transportation to talk about what we are faced with as a country, and also talk about what it is like outside Nigeria, outside the country, with a view to bringing about a modernized transportation system in the country, whereby trade will be improved, there will be free movement of goods and services, and even the people.
All right, so Oritsematosan, I know you are a very prominent voice in the maritime sector, so there's no way we talk transportation without aligning with the ideals of the maritime space. But how would you assess, the transportation component, generally in Nigeria, when you put it all together in terms of a policy framework?
Well, let me start by saying that Nigeria is work in progress in every aspect of her development, and transportation is not an exception. So right now, we would say, what is the transportation architecture of Nigeria? That is roads, air, water transportation, and air.
All right, and the rail too.
Yes, and rail. And then the next question would be, okay, we want these systems to work and to be integrated. Are the transport systems integrated already? No. The answer to that is no.
Right.
So we need efficiency. We need systems that work, that would make it sustainable. And we're in the 21st century, so we need to move the transportation system of this country up to the 21st century. Why? So that trade would flow, so that there would be employment, so that the economy can be revolutionized once we have our transportation system working at optimal position.
All right. So when we talk policy, we're saying that this is a document that should articulate all of this together when we talk about transportation. As we speak right now, there is no national transport policy document that we can point to that is seeking to harmonize all of this. Only last week, a kind of policy framework was put up for the Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy to see how we can really champion that. So why do we have that absence, for the transport, a national transport policy, so to say? From your assessment, why is that not coming forth?
I think the answer to that is, first of all, we must realize that a policy that integrates all of the transportation system in the country is a deliberate policy. And it's only when the government is pursuing an integration of the systems that they would normally think about such a policy. Now, it's very interesting that, of course, there's a maritime transport policy.
Right.
And as we are moving forward to integrate all of the transportation systems, then this is the right time now to talk about a global national transportation policy that would integrate marine, road, air, and rail.
Okay.
So this is the right time, and I think that the global transport policy conference that we're going to have in a few days' time.
Right. It's just it's a right call.
Yes, to address this.
All right, Dr. Awe-Obe, let's talk about that. Is this the first time you're coming up with the global transport policy roundtable?
This is the second time.
This is the second edition.
Yeah, this is the second.
So we can say GTP 2.0.
That's correct.
All right. So how did the first go? Let's even reflect on that.
Well, it went well. It was very, very outstanding in that we had a very large turnout across board. All the operators and actors, both state actors and non-state actors who were present at the first edition. The governor of the state, His Excellency, was represented by the Honorable Commissioner for Transportation.
Okay.
And the federal government president was also felt.
Right. So all those who are stakeholders in the transport sector were well represented.
That's correct.
When is this year's own coming up?
Thursday this week.
Oh, this week?
Yes.
That's on the 14th?
15th.
Oh, 15th of May. Oh, great.
Yeah.
Where's the holding?
Marriott Hotel.
Okay, right here in Lagos.
And we have as theme Sustainable Transport Systems, Global Best Practices and Lessons for Nigeria.
Right. And I'm just looking through now. So, Oritsematosan, global best practices. We align that to what we have in Nigeria. Where are we? How are we performing? Or is this still a far cry?
No, but like I said, we shouldn't be negative. Like I said, we are work in progress. Because we are work in progress, every step that we take, we're taking such step to advancing our transport infrastructure.
Okay.
So we are developing. I mean, we're not there yet, but we're
moving there gradually.
We're making progress.
Let's look at infrastructure now. So for rail, I know that there's an active plan now to really put some things in place. We have some rail corridors that are very active right now. Lagos, Ibadan, and I hear it's going to be extended all the way to Kano. And then we also have the Takwe rail to Warri. That one is also there. I'm sure that there's another one within the Calabar corridor. But is that sufficient for Nigeria?
No. Certainly it is not sufficient. It's not sufficient because this is a huge country. All of the pressure of transportation is on the roads, whether we like it or not. So there is room for, in fact, revolutionizing the rail transportation all over the country. I mean, right now what we have so far is just, sectoral corridors, Lagos to Abeokuta,
right.
Abuja to Kaduna,
that's right,
to Kano and all that. But we need something like Lagos straight to Sokoto,
okay,
for example. And then we need something that goes crosses eastwards.
Right.
And like that, so that there's rail line crisscrossing the country. When that happens, you would see that both passengers and cargo are able to be moved all over the country in a bulk way. Let's
talk about the infrastructure for water transportation, and the maritime sector as well. Inland waterways, we've not been able to make maximum use of the inland waterways that we have. And I hear those littoral states, we have about the water cutting across 23 to 26 states in Nigeria. So what are we doing in that regard in terms of infrastructure?
I think that, in fact, when we talk about inland waterways, I mean, in my view, is that many states should look at what Lagos State is doing.
Okay.
LASWA, for example, is doing excellent work in inland waterways transportation. I mean, they're building the infrastructure. When I came into your studio this morning and you were asking me how did I find it? And I said to you that this studio reminds me of the LASWA
experience.
Yes, at LASWA, because at LASWA, at their office at Falomo, you can see everything that's happening in the creeks, in the transportation, water transportation sector in Lagos. So Lagos is an example of a state that is doing something about its water transportation, and that is what I would advocate for other states.
Okay.
Delta state, I mean states that have waterfront. Delta state,
Edo,
Akwa Ibom,
all those corridors,
and all of those. So if they could just take a cue from Lagos. I think that would greatly improve the water transportation system in Nigeria.
Dr. Awe-Obe, this is a private sector-driven roundtable conference that you're having, right?
That's correct, yeah.
And when you put that, or perhaps align that with what government is doing, is there any way you have a kind of marriage between what the private sector is doing and perhaps to integrate that to what governments are doing at the various levels?
Absolutely, yes. Our experience in the last during the last edition, it elicited interface between us.
Okay, I need you to come closer to the microphone.
It's elicited interface between our organization,
all right,
Global Transport Policy, and the government. Okay, and we are building on that.
Okay.
Now we realize that there is a void kind of between getting experts together to talk about challenges in our transportation system, and we are trying to fill the gap by this effort. The organization Global Transport Policy is led by Dr. Olusegun Musa,
okay,
who is very passionate about Nigeria and everything that is good for Nigeria. So we are very certain. Like for instance, this edition we're bringing in actors from ECOWAS.
Oh,
yes,
that's from the West African sub-region.
Exactly, from ECOWAS. And they've shown a great interest because as part of the Global Transport Policy initiative, we have a bilingual magazine.
Oh, okay.
Solely targeted at transportation.
Right.
Right, and it's bilingual English and French. So we are doing all things possible to ensure that we put the government on the toes, and like I said during the last edition, we generated a communique that we pushed to the government, and they worked on some of the issues that were raised.
So is there a kind of dialogue that you've been having to say, look, this is what we from the private sector, this is what we've done, and if you can take this up, it will help Nigeria to be on the world stage when we talk about transport. Do you have that dialogue with government?
Yes, we not only with Lagos the government across the country. We're having dialogue with them, Kaduna and other state government. We're having dialogue with them. That's one of the main reasons to push for a platform where we put experts together to catalog discussion on the way forward, the right way to go in terms of developing our transportation.
Let's look at those that will be attending the conference come Thursday. Yes, so who are those?
We have three panels. Three panels we will feature in that Thursday edition.
Okay.
And some of the panelists includes the Director General, Nigerian Institute of Transport Technology, Director General, National Automotive Design and Development Council. All right. Director General, Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority, Director General, Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety, NIMASA. They will be talking about building for the future, global best practices in sustainable transport infrastructure development. Okay. And another set of panelists that will be talking about moving people and goods, the business and practice of efficient and sustainable transport operation includes Captain Emmanuel Iheanacho of Genesis Worldwide Shipping. Yes. Okay. Adetayo Bamiduro Max Drive. And of course, our panelist is here with me. Okay. One of them, Barrister Oritsematosan Emore-Edodo of Zoe Maritime Resources. Right. Mr. Sati Kumar, Greenville LNG, Captain Giorgio Enrico Del Cielo. Okay. Prime Nest Logistics. And the last panel that will be discussing connecting the dots, global best practices in integrated and multimodal transport system include Managing Director Lamata. Oh, okay. Managing Director Laswa, Managing Director Nigerian Railway Corporation, and Managing Director of Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria.
Wonderful. All right. These are all very, very big names in the industry. And of course, Oritsematosan Emore-Edodo is here as well. Very, very big in the maritime domain. Quickly, let's take this flash update coming in from the Ijanikin corridor. I understand there's a breakdown of a mini truck with a mechanical fault. This is at somewhere called the Penal 4 Officers Village, inwards Iyanoi Barr. And this is along the Lasu Isheri Road. All right, mechanic has been contacted, and any moment that should be taken care of. But traffic is very much under control as we speak right now. Maximum shout out going out to the control room for supplying that information. All right, so these are all the themes that we've had lined up for this Thursday.
Yeah.
What time is it?
10 a.m. at Marriott Hotel.
Marriott Hotel, right here in Ikeja.
Yes.
All right, so who are those that are going to be attending?
Across board, all stakeholders. Critical stakeholders in the transportation sector, both state and non-state actors within Lagos State and from outside Lagos State.
All right.
And to be streamed live for those outside Nigeria, because we have footholds in other African countries
as well. All right, so you are a panelist, Oritsematosan Emore-Edodo.
Yes,
you are a panelist at this particular conference.
Yes,
you were there last year too. Were you there last year?
Yes, well, I was at the women's.
Oh, that was for the women,
yeah.
right? That's true. Because I remember during the women's show we had you on the program.
Yes.
So, but this year it's really, really packed with lots of transport trojans like you.
Yeah.
So let's look at it. What are the expectations? What are you expecting at the end of this?
I am expecting solutions. I'm expecting that we'll have solutions to the transportation challenges facing the country. I'm expecting that we should have an interesting communique, which one would be able to push with government, and the government would be able to see the light and have clear directions as to where to go.
All right, 08099120777, 09153877127. If you want to join the conversation this morning, feel free to do so, and let's also have your input, even as we reflect on the global transport policy, how we can align with best practices for global transportation right here in Nigeria. And there's a question here for, it says, good morning, Barrister. What do you think are the barriers to sustainable maritime development in Nigeria? You didn't put your name, but thank you so much. I guess that question is thrown at you.
Yes. What's the barrier?
Yes.
Well, I think that the chief barrier is financing.
Okay.
Financing. Nigerian business people being able to have the capital to buy the maritime infrastructure, the maritime assets, that is vessels. And it's very interesting that actually today, at a meeting in at the Eco Hotel, that the Ministry of NIMASA is going to be talking about disbursement of the CVFF
fund. Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
Which is something
that has been there for several years. Yes. It's over 21 years now. That fund is yet to be disbursed, but NIMASA is making frantic efforts to make it real this time around.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So that would answer this question.
Are you very, very sure that it's going to be disbursed? Because in the past we've seen major actors from transport ministers come out to say, well, we're going to start disbursing the fund, and it turns out to be a fluke at the end of the day. So are you sure this time around
I am optimistic, and I'll tell you why.
Tell me.
Because, in the past, this is the first time now that we are having a Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy.
Right.
That is a ministry that is focused on maritime.
Right.
In the past, maritime was subsumed in Ministry of Transportation, and so the ministry had a lot of not distractions, but a lot of other responsibilities.
Right.
So now that there's a Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy, the minister in charge is focused on galvanizing the marine and blue economy.
Okay.
And one of the key ways to galvanize is to make funds available for people to be able to buy the maritime assets. That means disbursing, yes,
right.
CVFF.
Okay,
so
let's see.
I know that will happen.
Let's see how that pans out, because I just had a conversation on the CVFF over the weekend, and I was thinking what can really be done, really. And my guest did say, well, with $700 million, by the time you start disbursing that, definitely that will stimulate a whole lot of jobs within the system.
Exactly.
All right. Another message here says, good morning, everyone in the studios. How do we bring the informal transport sector like Danfos and Okadas into this global sustainability conversation? B is sending that one in from Ogba. B, thank you so much. Dr. Awe-Obe, is there any way you can talk about how to integrate those other modes?
Yeah, we've initiated discussion with them, with NURTW and others, NATO. What we really started with them is the training. There was this emotional intelligence training that we introduced to them. It's a free training program for all those informal operators of transportation in the state. We try to train them on how to behave to commuters, for instance. So we've initiated discussion with them. We are bringing them in gradually. Definitely, by the time we'll be running the third edition in the coming year, by God's grace, definitely they will also be active in the discussions.
All right. This one says, Barrister Emore-Edodo, from your maritime perspective, what global trends should Nigeria urgently pay attention to? Ifeanyi is sending this one in from Ikeja. Ifeanyi, thank you so much. So what are the global trends that you think we should pay attention to?
I think, first of all,
shipping?
No. In shipping, we should be looking at green shipping.
Okay.
That means the energy, the fuel.
That's right.
Right. And then they're talking about unmanned vessels. That's still advanced.
But we can get there.
Advanced. Yes.
We can get there.
So to start with, we can start with green shipping.
Okay, that is something that we can look towards, right?
Yes.
In the years to come.
Yeah.
All right, Dr. Awe-Obe, let's talk about this conference again. It's coming up when?
Thursday, May 15th, this week at Marriott Hotel.
Right,
Yeah.
and you're saying that all the transport stakeholders are going to be gathered to reflect on how we can move all of this together, right?
Yes, that's correct.
All right, who's chairing the occasion?
The chair of the occasion is going to be a private sector person.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I'm sure that we will unveil that as well.
Yeah, exactly.
This one says, good morning, Traffic Radio. Ports around the world are going smart and digital. Where is Nigeria in that conversation? You didn't put your name, but thank you so much. I'm sure this is going back to you, Barrister.
Yes. Well, Nigeria is part of that conversation.
Okay.
And Nigeria is making progress in that conversation. That means, first of all, there's a lot of work being done at the Nigerian Ports Authority.
Okay.
To bring the ports up to speed. And then we now have lots of development in other ports like Lekki ports, Lekki Deep Sea.
That's right.
Port, which is already on stream and doing wonderful work already.
So we're not left behind.
Yes, so we're making progress. The important thing is that we are making progress. We might not be as moving advanced as others.
Right.
We might not be moving as fast as people expect the country to be moving. But in my view, the most important thing is that we are moving and we're making that progress.
All right. Dr. Awe-Obe,
yes,
the stakeholders are going to be gathering on Thursday, and I'm sure that what will be uppermost on the minds of everyone is how we can move transportation forward. Is there any role for technology? Is there anything that talk about technology and innovation to improve transport services?
Of course, we'll be talking about intelligent transportation system.
Okay.
And that's the new innovation in this year edition of Global Transport Policy Roundtable, Transport Roundtable. So we have experts that also be talking about intelligent transportation system.
Right.
Yes.
Okay, so sustainability is one word. I mean, when we talk about sustainability, we're looking at how the transport system itself can keep on replicating and ensuring that there are no hitches and no barriers. What are the things that we can put in place, really, Barrister, to ensure that our transport system is sustainable and environmentally friendly too?
Well, I think that the first thing to address concerning sustainability is integration of the transport system itself.
Okay.
And why do I say so?
Tell me.
For example, if a trader from Oshodi, for example, has, is it Oshodi or Yaba?
Okay.
Has business in Apapa, they should be able to have buy one transportation ticket that would enable them take the train
right
to Marina, board the boats
right
at Marina at Niwa, cross over to
Apapa.
Yes, to Flour Mill.
Wow.
And take another bus, take a bus to Shippers Council, for example.
Okay.
One ticket should be able to do that. And that's what the integration is all about. Yes.
And I can tell you, that's something that Lagos is already carrying out.
Exactly. Lagos is already doing that, but we need to be able to do that nationwide. Yes.
All right. I think that sounds pretty good in terms of sustainability. And of course, once we can do that, that will make things much more beautiful. All right. So, Dr. Awe-Obe, I'm wishing you guys the best for this roundtable conference coming up this Thursday, you said, right?
Yes.
And it's taking up from what time?
10 a.m.
Okay. Is it just a one-day event?
Yes, it's a one-day event.
One-day event. So after which we'll have a communique.
Yes.
I'm anxiously awaiting the communique. Let's see what that will really portend and the kind of issues that will be discussed with giants like Barrister Oritsematosan in the panel as well. I'm sure there will be a robust engagement that will talk about how to improve the transport sector. So let's begin to round this off right now. What's your message? Dr. Awe-Obe, let's start with you. What's your message to the Nigerians as we round off the program this morning?
Well, thank you. Nigerians should not lose hope. Our transportation system will come up strongly and all our needs will be met in that regard. And we also encourage those that have received our invitation, and even by this broadcast, you are invited to the venue.
Yeah, so how can people join this? People can come over, or is there a way they have to register?
It's free entry.
It's free entry?
Yes.
All right. Marriott Hotel?
Yes, Marriott Hotel, Ikeja.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. And of course, to Barrister, what's your parting thought on the program?
My parting thought is that we mustn't forget that Nigeria is work in progress. And so is our transportation system. So people should not be discouraged about the present state of affairs. The important thing is to notice, to know that we are making progress.
Right. And I love your words, really. Very, very positive indeed. Okay.
Thank you.
We might not be where we want to be, but of course, Nigeria is making progress.
Yes, we're making progress.
All right. It's nice having you in the studios, madam. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for inviting me to such a beautiful place.
Wonderful. And Dr. Awe-Obe, it's nice having you. Awe-Obe, rather. It's nice having you in the studios as well.
Thank you so much.
All right. So on the program this morning, we've been trying to align with global transport policy ideals for a sustainable development of Nigeria. And joining me, I had Barrister Oritsematosan Emore-Edodo, who is the chairperson of Zoe Maritime Resources. She's also going to be a very, very strong panelist at the Global Transport Policy Roundtable. And Dr. Olusegun Awe-Obe, who is Director for Human Resources at the Global Transport Policy. We have to go. The program this morning has been produced by Mike James. I say a big thank you to Okpayemi Shodunke of our social media unit and to our executive producer, Tayo Akonle. My name is Victor Oteri. I'm out. Stay very much within. Bye.